China has just stepped into Nigeria's fight with America. And
why the United States of America is threatening Nigeria with war. Because Nigeria has decided to threaten the dollar dominance in Nigeria.
You're seeing clips claiming the US is threatening Nigeria with military action, but the reason why might have less to do with human rights and more to do with this: de-dollarization. We're gonna break down what's really happening. Let's get to it.
China has just stepped into Nigeria's fight with America, and here's why that matters. After Donald Trump warned of possible US military action against Nigeria over alleged persecution of Christians, China's own foreign ministry spokesperson, Mao Ning, hit back saying Beijing firmly opposes any country using religion or human rights as an excuse to interfere in another nation's internal affairs. Mao Ning added that China supports the Nigerian government in leading its people on a development path suited to its national conditions, which is a clear sign from China that they're backing the Nigerian president. Some analysts suggest that this moment reflects a global power shift and that China is positioning itself as a defender of sovereignty and a counterweight to US influence in Africa.
On November 1st, 2025, Trump did threaten to go into Nigeria, guns a-blazing, citing the alleged persecution of Christians. And China's reaction was just as swift. Their foreign ministry spokesperson Mao Ning stated, and I'm quoting the official transcript, "We oppose any country's interference in other countries' internal affairs under the pretext of religion and human rights." This isn't just diplomatic noise. This is a major power publicly offering cover to a nation under US pressure. China is signaling to Africa and the world, we offer partnership without the threat of invasion. It's a direct challenge to decades of US foreign policy.
We have some major developing news. Nigeria has just struck a deal with China, which will be cutting out the dollar in those transactions. Nigeria has just signed a deal with China worth $21 billion. And in this trade deal, they are going to have bilateral cooperations when it comes to marine and also supply of goods. This means that China is trying as much as possible to ensure that they do not use the dollar by the United States of America dominance. And let me tell you, immediately after doing that is when the United States of America came in and said that the government in Nigeria is allowing the terrorists to unalive Christians. And the United States of America immediately came in and said that if the government in Nigeria does not take action, they are going to get in Nigeria guns a-blazing. The question is, could this be the reason as to why the United States of America is threatening Nigeria with war? Because Nigeria has decided to threaten the dollar dominance in Nigeria.
This is the core of it. The timing here is everything. And the clip is right to question it. The narrative is that this is about protecting Christians, but let's look at the timeline. Late October 2025, Nigeria signs a flurry of major deals with Chinese companies. We're talking a $400 million steel plant and a $2.3 billion power project, among others. This is part of a massive wave of Chinese investments, with a reported $21 billion in construction deals. November 1st, 2025, Trump makes his guns a-blazing threat. The deals explicitly aim to use the Chinese yuan and Nigerian naira, bypassing the US dollar. Why is this a big deal? The US dollar's dominance is a cornerstone of its global power. It's what the Atlantic Council calls an exorbitant privilege that allows the US to finance its massive defense budget. When a major economy like Nigeria starts moving billions of dollars outside that system, it's not just a commercial deal. It's a direct challenge to American economic power. So when the threats of military action come just days after these de-dollarization deals are signed, it looks less like a coincidence and more like a reaction. So is there a Christian genocide happening, as the US politicians claim? The reality is far more complex. Yes, Christians are tragically being killed by terrorist groups like Boko Haram, but so are Muslims. An analysis by academic researchers using conflict data shows that both mosques and churches are attacked. In fact, in some recent years, more mosques were targeted than churches. The BBC, citing the ACLED database, reports that since 2009, nearly 53,000 civilians, both Muslim and Christian, have been killed in this violence. The Nigerian government itself refutes the genocide narrative, stating the violence is rooted in complex issues like resource competition and ethnic strife. not just religion. Using this tragedy as a pretext for military threats, especially when billions of dollars are shifting away from your currency, is a classic power move. It's using a real human crisis to mask a geopolitical and economic agenda. So, what do we have? The US is threatening military action against Nigeria, citing religious persecution. But this threat comes immediately after Nigeria signs massive deals with China that bypass the US dollar. Meanwhile, the data shows the violence in Nigeria tragically affects all faiths, not just one. It seems the real fear in Washington isn't just about human rights. It's about losing economic influence and the dominance of the dollar. China is stepping in to offer an alternative, and this is the new great game. It's not just happening in Nigeria, it's happening all across the world. What do you think? Is the US justified, or is this just about protecting its currency? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more data-driven breakdowns of what's really going on behind the headlines, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye.